Oh, we're back live on Genius Intel. Back from our dragon adventures.
How's everyone feeling? Everyone okay?
My toothache's gone.
Amazing.
Yeah, good. What else? There at the end of Pascal and Ebony, your conversation, as I went in, it was noticing how far the imagination and emotions had been disconnected. That was the first location that I got with it. And just kind of in awe, like remembering as a child how that imagination and emotion, we're so linked. Like that was what was there. And as I came back and Pascal, your conversation, it was like, no, I am still doing that all the time. It's just not in a playful imagination. Thinking about life is just the imagination and the emotion. And when our imagination is creating worry, stress, pressure, that's the condition. So it wasn't as it's void. It's not that we don't do it. It's how we're always doing it.
The frequency at what we're doing it, like which frequency we're tapping into when we're doing it. This is, yeah. So when you were talking about that, like I actually felt really emotional then when you were explaining how, yeah, yeah, it's
That's what
just happy that,
I ended with. The green for me was playful, and as it was, this vortex was the purpose of life for me. It was the life, it was the passion, the anger, and the freedom. Like all the words we used this morning played so much of a part in that vortex for me.
it's incredible.
Quite interesting. My first one, the first globe was red, and that was anger.
Mm. And what happened was, so when you released that, that went into the vortex as well. That created that,
Mm-hmm.
like, still, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the majority of my life.
Mm.
The anger of forcing life because the force wasn't working, but it was all I knew. And when I could release that anger, I could see all the other possibilities.
Mm.
Those possibilities became that after the anger was the color gold, which was passion for me. So the anger was so connected to the passion.
Yeah.
The third was pink. love, blue for playful, and green for opening. It wasn't very long ago when I noticed that I could start to see colors with my eyes closed.
I love this. This is making me smile, by the way.
And at
Yeah,
the
me too.
at the at the at the at the tip of that vortex, it was dense and heavy and but loose and playful. And it was like whatever that thing was, I can't explain it, but it was like that's what it was is the purpose of my life. And I got to grab it, pick it up, and put it in my heart. Put it back because we just took it out and examined it. Put it back in.
Do you think that the tip was denser, maybe because it was supporting and like the foundation of all that expression and all that experience and all that other energy? So the foundation had to be more solid to hold this and contain it a little bit and direct it and have a foundation for it.
It was just the sense that I got, right? I think it's the essence. If you think of the essence,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the essence of power is really what it was. And yes, so much the foundation, yeah. And there's one place I made a certain offer and like I'm making an offer, right? Well, it's always making an offer, but there's a certain tool that I'm using right now, and there was one frame in it that said, nope, take that one out and put this one in. And it was like, oh, how interesting is that?
That is so cool. That is.
Just one, rather than tell them what it is, give them the outcome was what it says. Like, oh, interesting. Yeah, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Mhm.
One small tweak.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
And that one small tweak changes everything.
Mhm.
Changes the audience from a passive audience to a yes, what's next audience. A customer, really. Just in one shift of the imagination. And taking the action shifts the opportunities and changes the lives and changes the opportunity, manifests the opportunity. There's something from nothing into everything.
Mhm. That's the creator energy. It's the creator being within. Mastering your energy. Utilizing opportunities. Optimizing.
Vision into form. What isn't and can't be seen to be seen.
That's so exciting. There's like excitement in that. I can feel excitement as you say that.
And frustration. Just the opposite side.
Yeah, there are many things that have already been brought into form that cannot be seen yet.
Yes. Frequency. Frequencies have to align.
Yep. Potential is still a form of energy. An intangible form, but a form nonetheless.
Absolutely.
A bit delayed, but Jen says that she was hearing gold and she had a vision of liquid gold flowing and all matter and people emerging from that gold in all shapes and forms, then sinking back into the gold.
Abundance and unity come together.
Yeah, wow. That's interesting because I saw the flowing gold, but I didn't see her interpretation of it. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that, Joe. And thank you to, what's her name?
That's Jen Hall.
Jen. Thank you, Jen,
Yeah, you're gonna meet Jen soon. She's a
for
ridiculously
sharing that. Yeah.
ridiculous poet, man. She's an poet. Then Charlene said, first time joining, thank you. Dragon had emerald green eyes, loving heart globes, and shared patience, love, trust, openness. She said it was so beautiful, and thank you. Joanne said, I like that. The gift of what is not said. That's in regards to the Morse code, the signs of spring, and it is fall approaching. Joanne said, thank you for that. Hearing the void. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Hearing what is not said. How sweet is that?
Pretty sweet indeed.
So, like, I'm just sitting thinking about all of the energies that we've stirred up and brought into this container amongst everyone that was participating. Think about all the high vibration that was unleashed all together with what people are saying they've found, or were expressing and feeling in that essence. It's all just been like shared amongst us all, and that's got to make an impact.
Oh well, yeah. Like our brains are transmitting to source and back, and they're not losing any intensity. So in this group, boom. But that's literally it. We haven't maybe had an effect. It has. It does. It can't not.
This
Yeah.
is it. So thank you, everyone. This is epic.
Yeah, what I'm appreciating in the sharing is that there was similarities. Like one of the text comments was talking about the emerald eyes,
Yeah,
and Pascal mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
So there's similarities like that show up, and the color emerald and that. So things like that, but also everybody had their own unique piece to share.
Yeah.
That only they saw.
Mm.
So,
which is creating expansion amongst us as well.
yeah. To me, that's what community is.
Mhm.
It's that whole co-creation thing where all the pieces come together as we experience together, and then share the experience with each other.
And it amplifies
Mhm.
things that are shared and that resonate as well. It's like when two people or more share anything, it's amplified wherever that focus is. So it's like there's got so many layers that are impacting right now and creating change effectively.
And look at a synergy store, yeah. It's like you think you add one and one and one, and that makes three, but it doesn't. It makes 30. It makes 300. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just 1 + 1 +. It's the synergist effect.
Yeah. Amplified so much more.
Wow.
Mm. Far out.
Yeah, in the spirit of creativity.
Yeah. Well done, team. That's just full epic. I can't, yeah, I'm just taking it in, processing.
Yeah.
Well done,
and everyone who participated.
That's right. For being here, part of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can feel a big dragon community like being created. This community is going to expand and grow. It's just unwrapping people's gifts on a deeper level as well. Giving people's the permission to let their imagination soar. And like the weird thing is, though, Chris, yeah, this is the kind of creation. Like it wasn't like we weren't thinking, let's bring a dragon revolution. Ebony just mentioned about a dragon, and from there it's just
Yeah.
effortlessly flowed.
Mm.
Best
Yeah,
kind
it
of
has
dream.
a life of its own.
Mm.
Yeah.
Could it be like the same realm of like dinosaur as well?
Be anything you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I
Anything
feel
you
like
want it
I've
to be.
seen. It's like I've seen like dinosaur.
That is awesome.
They're back.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, like Ian was mentioning unicorns, that's what you were saying, Ebony, weren't you? Like whatever
Yeah.
comes to you, you know?
This is the thing.
Yeah, it's like you're building it as you go, right?
Mm. Yeah, thank you.
Space that we can go to at any time as well. Utilize to, when we're having like stresses or anything that takes us out of alignment, we can take a moment to just go back into that space and remember, what bring forward the experience or the feeling of whatever experience you've had that just where you felt in alignment. Like you can utilize it. These are all tools that can just keep being recycled, and that energy from the experience will be utilized as well. Like it's really cool. And this is not something that's like actually pre-thought out, as Joe was saying before. We've just sort of gone with this. So I'm exploring different realms with you guys. So this is like, and it's epic. And then the information comes through. It's not even like I am, it's just being given. So it's an experience for all of us. We're all experiencing it at the same time in different ways. Like, you guys are creating it. It's just it's yeah. The universe is expanding. I'm talking out loud. Don't mind my thoughts.
I'll speak away.
The transition from me as an individual, as a separate, to a we as a collective. The me is limited. The we is expansive.
Mhm.
Yo, look what cup I'm drinking my tea from.
A dragon. Did you?
It's
No,
a unicorn cup, but
it's a
look what it
unicorn.
says. Look what it says,
okay.
yeah. Look what it says. I don't believe in humans.
I don't Hey, this is off topic, but I thought it was so funny. Like yesterday, I was with a few friends having dinner and a fantastic time. And then, so this girl, like, she lives in Winnipeg. And then she saw, like, on The Simpson that it had a sign, like, when like they were driving to Winnipeg. And then the sign says, like, "We live here. What is your excuse to stop by?" Right? Because like it's like the way that she was explaining, everything is bad there. I'm like, so I was just like, what? Yeah, we were trying to convince her like to move to Calgary, and she was like, yeah, but it's my mom, right? Like attachment to her mom. So, but, yeah. So, and on the same subject of the dragons, do you guys know like the work of Tom Campbell with the Monroe Institute?
No.
No. So
Remind
like,
us, Pascal.
well, he was working for the Monroe Institute for a long, long time. But then like, I took a little course about astral traveling, and then like he was speaking that some of his clients were not able to astral travel, so he create a book, and I think it's called The Park. And then like, so his client were going to the park, and then he was saying like, okay, well, there's horses, you can horseback riding, you can do everything you want in the park, really. Like it's your imagination. But then like he lays out in the book what you can do, right? But then you can add whatever you want. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. So like, you know, when you wake up at night in the middle of the night, then I used to do that. Like I go to the second bedroom, and then like I imagine a park going in, and what do I see, and like ride things. And so it's a similar thing that we're kind of doing, right? Like we're kind of creating as we go. So
I think that's important
yeah.
though, to like for people that can't or are struggling to do it, you know, because
Yeah.
like and I think it's just relaxing into it. Like people that have exercised this meditation muscle and stuff and relaxedness, yeah. But definitely there's going to be a percentage of that I mean just might need just a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more whatever. But yeah, just that little a little bit of extra guidance and stuff. Because we want
it
everyone
might be a start, right? It might be a start because like most people have been to the park, right? Like to an amusement park, and they know how it feels like to go on rides or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it might be easier for them to ease in.
Yes.
Right? Go with something that's familiar to you. Right? Because obviously, like riding a dragon is a little bit different, right?
yeah.
You know,
Suppose.
it's
I suppose
it's a little
you
out
could
there,
do it step by step. Like you could imagine, like you're paragliding, and then say, right, your paraglide's now turned into your dragon.
yeah. Anything works for you, right?
Yeah, whatever works.
Mm.
I'd like to share some of that I flipping was listening to last night, and it really, really rung true, man, like deeply, right? And it's in regards to like rescuing people or like helping people that are like in need, okay? And what he was saying, right, is imagine an egg hatching, yeah? We might want to help that egg or that chicken, you know? But by helping that chicken, yeah, because in that time of cracking out the shell, it's getting the strength, you know, and the belief and all that good stuff that it's going to need for its life, yeah? So, like, I want to, like, yeah, so you might want to help that egg, you know, that chicken hatch, but by doing that, we're actually killing it, yeah? And we're making it impotent, realizing, because the point of this is that, like, no one's coming to save you, yeah? And it's like, even if they do, like, that's why they were saying about the government, when it pays you, what it's doing is making you impotent, because anything that we can do or should do ourselves, like, we shouldn't be doing that for others, right? Because we're kind of making them impotent to that. And I feel like maybe I've even been impotized through that, through like being helped, you know, like obviously just, you know, but yeah, like that's huge, that I feel, because it's really tempting, like when someone's whatever like suffering or whatever to like, you know, try help them as best as we can. But then what if like by doing that I'm like hindering like their own power? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're depending always on something or someone.
Yeah, it's disempowering as well because there's certain things like things take a natural course and people find their strength through the things that they go through or are experiencing. Like, and if they're going through something, like obviously if somebody was like really in need, you wouldn't just leave them on the side of the road if they've hurt their ankle or something, you know, like you would assist them. But if they're going through something, I mean, you can still support people, but you can't do things. You can't just do it for them because it's disempowering. It's where that whole empowering people comes in. I feel we're
Yeah,
here
because
to.
that's important. That's important, right? That like, I mean, yeah, that like, yeah, we're not empathizing people. Like, yeah, we're helping them. They feel good. They're leaving good, feeling good. But like, we want people to know. Do you know what I mean that it's them? It's all in them.
Yes.
We're just existing right now, temporarily or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, like, but obviously, like, I like to help people, but I don't want to help people if I'm like making them impotent to helping themselves. You know?
Yes. Yeah. It's about self-empowering, empowering others to know their strengths so that they can self-empower.
Yeah, there's a lot of awareness around something like a dragon experience, because you come to realize that that you perceive stuff, that you have the ability to perceive things, and in some cases they match what other people perceive, and in other cases they're unique to you. But that whole thing about a personal perception is really powerful for people. What, you mean I can do that too? It's kind of what dawns on people, right? Yeah.
It's surprising though, like how open people are to it and like open to sharing and like they really want to speak about it. You know, they really want to express this, and I don't feel like there's many places where people can just openly talk about the dragon. You know.
Or where people can openly talk about their perceptions.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, either, I mean, it gives everybody a platform,
but it's
to
like
speak from. Yeah.
By talking about your dragon, because that raises the bar so much, it's like, all right, well, if we talk about dragons, then like we can literally like talk about anything.
Yeah. Because the thing is, if this is real to a whole bunch of people, then it's real for me too.
Yeah. And like I do feel like a deeper form of like strength and courage. And I feel like a lot of women are like attracted to this, and that's do you know what I mean? That's bringing out their power as well. Like, it seems like about 70% women into this over men. But it's like, if that's what I'm feeling that strength and that power and that courage, you know, by tapping into that part of myself. Like, I feel like it's very empowering, you know, for women, you know, to be like stepping into their power because it's kind of been taken away from them. You know what I mean? But they're like reassessing, you know.
Remember, feminine energy is primarily receptive. So what we're doing in exercise like this is we're activating our feminine energy receptors, really. And putting awareness on that, right?
Which is what a woman wants from a man anyway.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Depends on the woman, I guess.
70%, Pascal. I always talk about majorities. I understand that there will be
Yeah.
one or two that are on the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like my in that my vision was around pulling out the creative genius, pulling it out. And it dawned on me. So like the connection, right? I spoke about it. I'm practicing my articulation of it. Uh, Imagination can be both a positive and negative frequency. The imagination is a key to the creating of it. So we are imagining all the bad things that can happen to us.
Well, that's when you're not in the present.
That's right. And that's the, it's
Right?
wherever it is. Yeah. It's like like we said, the frequency, the charge, the emotion, right, that is connected with that imagination. It is what we do. It is all we do.
It also like brings light and insight into where we can rewire and adjust things to bring it in alignment with that higher vibration that we're inviting into our being in these practices, and create change. Like if that's our will.
I will to will thy will.
I mean, it's people could and do like disagree with this, what we're doing, which is really just opening up an imagination in a positive way. What they're not realizing is that they're using their imagination the same way, just in the way society structures say you have to.
Limited way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you realize it's the same thing, you're doing the same thing, they're just producing two different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people don't realize that we're imagining this entire existence into being. So it's like, yeah, your imagination's created what you're currently experiencing, but they've not put the dots together that, yeah, you actually imagined this originally at one point.
We always imagined the current reality.
And that's it, because the current reality is we're there for so long, anything different is like, but this is opening up those floodgates to be able to expand our imagination, which is key. I see.
Exactly. Like,
yeah, it's what the majority has created.
let me play a fun playback, which is crazy, right? It's guaranteed to be better. Meaning that's what an expansive frequency is. It's like it's guaranteed to be better, and at its worst will be the same. Like why not invest in that? That's an expanding frequency. A limited frequency, a limited imagination, limiting the imagination, the best it can do is bring about what's already there.
What's already
Yeah,
been done.
that's where we're trapped. And we're so afraid to move into that next one. And it's like, oh, why? So the slide, right, the change that showed up for me was in the offer was to guarantee that they make 1,000 more barrels of cleaner oil before you even pay a thing. How much would you pay for that? So it's a guaranteed return. That's what this is. Yeah, people still won't take it. What's the catch? I'm not even going to try and find out. I'm just going to make up that there's a catch.
Well,
See
it's
how that
crazy.
pattern?
How could that possibly be true?
See how that pattern just keeps you trapped?
Yeah.
If I'm looking for distrust, I'm going to find it. If I'm looking for a scam, I'm going to find it. And it's going to be in everything. Whether it's there or not, you're imagining it. And then you say it's true.
That's where self-awareness comes in, and that ability to reflect on self and process and understand the old frequencies and the new frequencies, the old cycles versus the new cycles, and the transitioning periods we go through. All of that got to have that ability to be able to self-reflect and yeah, just really the self-awareness is huge. It's
And so you bringing that up had me reflect on it and say, oh, look, I'm starting to pull the anger associated with that. And I'm going in the direction of my anger for it, which just focused in the is a pattern, right? That's my awareness of my pattern. And then it's like, no, that anger is found in the passion, just in the wrong direction.
yeah.
That anger is my frustration with how it's being seen. You know, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, switch it. The anger does no good because the anger is making someone else wrong and me right.
I think you're doing an awesome job at articulating. I was actually going to say that before you said that. It's you've so much that you're expressing. Like it's the way you're articulating it is. It's like you've so much came out of that half an hour that we were just in that void. Like it's really really cool. Thank you.
Thank you for this space.
So that intense energy can be expressed as anger or as passion.
If to use the metaphor, they're both ends of this, they're one, each of them hold a end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I see all my anger was around, right? And then it wasn't for the passion of life, but it was for the money of life.
Mm.
And so like passion was like way down deep to discover like, oh, look at how they are connected. Who would have thought passion and anger went together? I sure didn't, but it makes sense.
It does. If you're a passionate person, it makes sense.
Well, if you're an angry person, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're self-reflective.
yeah, all of it, right? Yeah, just all the new things that we're not.
Currently experiencing.
Right. Currently telling ourselves that we're limited.
So we can currently see what permission we've already given.
Beautiful word. Permission.
Yo, guys, do you know like how one of my visions is like to see holistic practices popping up around the world like popcorn? Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, one of my friends that I've been doing like retreats with, and her friends, they've just landed in a super duper manifestation. Yeah. She shared a post. I'd like to read it to you. It's like a 2-minute post. And yeah, I'd love to share it with you.
Joe, before you do, every time you've said this, it's popped up for me, so I've got to share it. It's in how you're thinking about that. Here's what it's there for me is that they're already there. You are just going to help them crackle.
Definitely, thank you. Yeah. We just adding heat to the equation.
Yeah, so rather than thinking they've all got to be built, it's like, no, they're already there. They're already spread out all over the place. They already exist.
Yes, thank you. And then there's ones that are ready to exist as well. So it's like different stages of where they're at in it.
Yes.
And just meeting them there. Well, this is like very early stages. I mean, we've been doing retreats like throughout the lockdown and stuff. But this is the post, yeah. For those that don't know already, Jenna, Catherine, Lindsay, and Alicia are excited to announce that from the start of October, we are taking over the management and lease of Hope Baptist Church in the centre of Hebden Bridge, which is like a really energetically like loads of ley lines ending there and starting there. It's just a beautiful place, right? So we've been gifted an incredible opportunity to create a thriving community, healing and well-being centre. We are now the Bridge CIC, representative of Hebden Bridge's ancestry, but also a symbol of the vision we will be creating. We see ourselves as being a bridge in our community and beyond. We will be running holistic education programs, youth clubs, workshops, ceremonies, community groups, support services, therapies, open days, live music, events, and so much more. We have the most wonderful local elders joining us and aim to support the current community groups already using the venue. Once we've settled in over the coming months, we also want more people to join us too. We already have a team of close-knit sisters and brothers stepping up to be involved. If you are in alignment with our heart-based approach, we may be able to offer you a space to create your visions, igniting your passions and helping us build true community. One where we're all valued, cherished, and can create magnificent future together. Watch this space. Oh my days!
That's really exciting. Well done and good on them. Putting things into action and manifesting that space so they can go forward and assist and serve. I love it.
And just a little foreground. This space was up, and like the local council offered to buy it, but because of their intentions and what they were choosing to do with it and what to do with it, they've literally been given it, you know. So like they had the council had the opportunity to buy it, you know, but the people that were deciding ended up choosing my mates, you know, because of the vision, you know, way outweighed any uh, any passion for the money. It was the passion for the passion. Woo!
Is anyone else noticing how these things manifest themselves?
Yeah, that's sort of what this is. Who was I? I was just having this conversation with someone, like when you're on that divine flow or the universal flow, whatever everyone wants to call it, like um, things just open up without effort. The abundance just is received. It is put out there and it's received. It just keeps recycling. It's just things just unfold, and things that we need just appear, like need to move forward and like create what we're trying to manifest.
Yeah, and when Jesse started this group every day, it was about being tired of meditating on his own. So the desire was to meditate together with some other people and create a community around that. So the desire was a community. And it's very interesting the runoffs that have happened from that. And like it's that desire energy that's combined that creates other things like that, that group and that wellness center and all these kind of things. And I because of things like quantum entanglement, I believe that we had, we in this group had a part of that. Like it's like that's one of our manifestations. And there's many, many more that we aren't even aware of as a result of doing this every day. The Levolution is a worldwide collective movement.
Yeah, it's like by being on these calls every day, it's like we're building a stronger spine and a tender heart.
Love that.
Yeah, essentially strengthening the connections. Connection.
Yeah, and recognizing that none of us could have done any of this alone. That community is required.
Yeah. Friendships, relationships.
Always stronger in numbers.
Yeah.
When the intention and when the intention is built on the same foundation, so there's a strength in that, there's a force in that.
I'm seeing like loads of soil, like loads of beautiful soil, and then like a massive tree emerging. Just fruitful of life. It must be the tree of life.
I was just going to say, what sort of tree is it? And then you're like, is it the tree of life? Like,
Or is it the tree of knowledge?
No, it's the tree of life. It's the tree of life, definitely. Knowledge can't get you here.
Yeah, I see like the below part, the connection, the mycelium, the roots that they're interconnected.
That's it. That mycelium spreading throughout the whole. That's it. It's the Earth's internet signals, and it's renewing all the trees and all the life and all the flowers. Because that's it. It's a big tree. It's not just like a little tree. It's like a mighty tree. And like now, actually, I'm seeing like this on some big, beautiful top of a mountain.
Yeah, its connections are all underground.
standing tall. I love trees.
Mm.
They just represent so much. They just hold so much truth and they literally stand for the earth. Have you ever gone through like a forest where there's like so many trees and they literally, all the trees look like an army of trees? Like not an army where they're going to go to war, but an army like they're protecting the earth, like they're standing strong, they're standing together, and they're holding that space, and They're just there to serve the earth and protect her. You know, there's something that's just there. Did you know when trees are like unwell and they have trees surrounding them, that they will shoot out like roots and branches and things to support the weaker tree? Like they literally help each other out and send their energy over to assist.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I'm not surprised.
I actually think a lot of plants do it as well. Like they help each other out. They're not feeling the best.
Maybe all of life just does it. I think we just is it just like a deep, soulful inner.
Natural state of being.
Back to our true essence.
100%.
Because when you're overflowing with life, you can't not give. It's just overflowing.
It's natural.
And then it's where's that coming from? Because if it's coming from us helping someone to help them feel better, like, because the best way as well to like help others is to like help ourselves, and it's like by helping and working with others, unless we're coming from an overflowing cup, it might just be like a distraction to not be focusing on within ourselves.
Yeah, and that comes back to what Jesse was saying before. So, kind of where we're creating the intention from and where we're imagining from, essentially.
Yeah.
That's why awareness, like, is so self-awareness is going to drive the intention, and just checking in with self all the time and checking to make sure that you understand the frequency in which you're creating from, creating your reality from, Yeah, especially if when you're in those lower frequencies and creating from that, or have found patterns there, and if you're transitioning from those older patterns, or you're aware of other patterns that aren't in that vibration, then yeah, just having the awareness of where you're at. Sometimes it's just, you just have to, with the awareness comes the ability to check in and identify what pattern is which and what belongs where, so that you can move forward and know that your intentions are pure, and that the reality that you're creating is from that space, and it is high vibrational. It is a place that you want to be in, type of thing. So self-awareness.
That's what I love, like, about gene keys, because it's kind of like what you're saying there. There's like 3 stages of frequency. First being the shadow, then the gift, and then the siddha. And each one of those is like a higher frequency. And that's why like Solex was sticking out to me as well, because that's with the frequencies and stuff. So I want to tie them two together. But like you've not really got into gene keys much. But Craig was on it like years ago, and it's literally like it takes 2 minutes, and you just put in your details, and it tells you like what gene keys you are, and they're around like what we're here to learn, around this prosperity, around us true purpose, and as around relationships maybe, but like, and then he's saying where people are at. So like if you're in the shadow, that's like the low. Do you know what I mean? But there's so much blessings in that as well. And it's the shifting from those low frequencies into the higher. So like that's what was like wanting the beats to assist in doing as well. But Craig, man, is there anything could you like summarize or break down anything about gene keys to like for Ebony, who's not really looked into it much?
Actually, just before you do, Craig, because I've gotten that info, when I got offline last night, I was looking up, because I was sent the human design thing, and then downloaded my gene keys thing, which need deciphering. So I have an appointment with one of the girls I swapped a session with, who's going to explain to me what my human design and the gene keys are. So I was doing a little bit of reading, and I downloaded the book last night, so at least I could understand what she was saying. So it's funny that you brought it up again.
No, you did it. Because the thing is, Craig did that for me, and Craig's got the overview of the human design linked with the gene keys, because gene keys is like a brother sister of the human design. But then Craig wraps in the astrology as well, you know. So I definitely recommend like getting Craig to decipher what you.
Okay, Craig. Hook me up.
Yep. You know, it's interesting this is coming up because I actually met Richard Rudd this week.
What?
Yeah, I did. I was on a session with him. I got to ask him a question.
Who's
Wow.
Richard?
What was your question?
My question was, I wanted him to describe to me how his transmissions come to him, because I do that too, right? And so his was quite intense and all that stuff. But human design was also a transmission. Like it was one of these multi-day things where there was this huge download of all this information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is also based off the I Ching, innit? Which is
it's a combination of a lot of things. Like it's the I Ching, and it's the I Ching and its hexagrams, and the gene keys actually connected the 64 hexagrams to the 64 amino acid combinations. in the DNA, and so that's where that connection is. But they're also connected to the 7 chakras and to the Kabbalah and to astrology and the planets and their energies. So it's a combination of a whole bunch of these ancient, I guess you could call them knowledge technologies that have been around for like thousands of years. But it's all kind of come conjunct into one space now that are all interrelated. Well, and there's new stuff now that's getting into things like the solfeggio frequencies that are actually aligned directly with the chakras, and the colors of the rainbow that are aligned with the chakras, and all these things are interrelated energetically.
It's fascinating.
Ebony, can you get that report up from Gene Keys, and can you see what numbers it gives you?
Yeah, I just sent them to Craig.
Mhm.
I can't wait until I'm meeting with Emily on Thursday. She's like, but I'm happy to hear what you have to say. To bring light to it, because I look at it and just go, okay. And then I downloaded the book on Audible, and they're talking about it, but I try and find the numbers, and it's really hard on the Audible. I need the transcript.
If you've got Gaia TV as well, which I know you do, that lady, what's she called, Blue or something? What's she called, Blue Flow or something?
Oh yes, I can't remember.
But there's a Richard Rudd interview on Gaia, or she's a student of his with Zach Bush apparently. Yeah, so like if you wanted a bit of like overview of it, I remember I only watched the first 10 minutes of that, and I was like, yo, I'm getting that book. I'm on this right now, do you know? Because like this lady, she's proper just like embodied it all, you know. But literally she was saying like, yeah, by when she was saying when she were reading it, and contemplating it, she could literally feel like a DNA upgrading, you know, DNA shifting, genetics, and like she had like, she was poorly as well, and all that stuff just went, you know. So you,
like hearing problems?
pardon?
Is that the lady that had the hearing problems or
Oh
something?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
It's Aubrey Marcus' like sister, right?
What is that his
Is
sister?
it really?
I think so.
No,
You're kidding.
I love
Yeah,
Aubrey.
no, I'm pretty sure. I thought that's what I understand.
Okay, early April.
Did you get the
Yeah,
message?
she named herself Blue, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did get the message, Ebony. I'm looking at your chart right now, or at your charts.
So I don't know what.
Oh man, 59 Pearl. Oh my goodness gracious! Wow.
Does that mean?
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick
is a
lookup
pearl?
for you right now. What's that? What's a pearl?
Yeah, it's a pearl.
The pearl is your key to your own prosperity. That's what the pearl is. And it's yeah. So I just noticed some things that I'm already familiar with. But here, let me look you up quickly here.
So do you guys all know your gene keys? Like, have you all studied this?
Well,
No.
I've read mine with what comes, and then I got the book and the Audible. But I haven't I've kind of gone over all the gene keys. I just opened the book randomly because I got the book And it opened on the 30th gene key, Celestial Fire, Shadow Desire, Gift, Lightness, Siddhi, Rapture. Oof, right, Craig, what you saying?
Oh my. Oh my. Okay, here you go, Ebony. This is a reading from your prime gifts, which are, if you look at your gene keys profile, it's the green spheres all around the outside. And these are about these are like 70% of the primary energies that you operate from. They're very foundational. Okay. So here's what's coming up for you. To create a foundation of self-regulation rooted in a depth of knowledge and wisdom that comes from learning. And I like experiential learning. So yeah, you have a real depth of experiential learning about things like being rooted and self-regulated. What could that be?
Experiences.
Yeah, your energy is very foundational. Like it's very deeply rooted. Which you've actually demonstrated here. Every time you've showed up in this group, you've demonstrated exactly that.
You're really grounded. You're really grounded.
Yeah. And because of that, you can. It's natural for you to lead other people into their own groundedness.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay.
Okay. You have a gift for deep listening. Deep listening that sparks ideas and concepts that have the power to create new pathways to abundance.
Is this where are you?
Which is probably why that 59 is showing up in your prosperity, because prosperity and abundance are basically the same thing. Prosperity would be abundance in practicality, like abundance actually applied.
Okay, so let's work on this one that says superabundance. How do I get to superabundance? Okay, so I'll be like I'm in this expansion thing.
Okay, what are you looking at?
So, and how is that relative to the purpose bubble? 53 down the bottom.
Is it there? Oh, superabundance. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
So why is that relative to purpose, and what is it? Like, how do you interpret this?
Well, okay, if we look at that, we look at your purpose sphere. Okay, the shadow is immaturity. The gift is expansion, which you've been demonstrating all along. And the Siddhi is superabundance, which means an innate ability to tap into cosmic abundance, whether it be intangible or tangible.
So kind of like what we were doing tonight with the dragons.
Yeah. Well, and you have around your purpose is a really deep sense of abundance, of what constitutes abundance and how it applies to energies and to people and to situations. And to life in general.
Okay, so then the radiance one. We don't have to do this now, by the way. Like we can do because this. Yeah. We can take it off. We can take it offline. Let's go. I mean, I don't understand like what. Okay, so just last question. Ascension is related to radiance. What is radiance and what is ascension? So is that I'm radiating ascension? What does that mean?
Let me check on that one for you.
Bubble on the left-hand side, 54.1.
Yeah.
So how does that?
Well, let's put it this way. You are swimming in the deep end of potential. And you have been your whole life. Like that's your spot. That's your place. That's where you operate from. Hold
up. Swimming in the sea of potential or like stepping into.
No, that's where your essence lies, is in the sea of potential.
Am I going to be like continuously swimming, or like do I like actually?
Well, that's your playground. It's like it's where you're coming from. It's,
right. Okay,
it's where you it's your foundation. Holy crow.
All right.
Wow.
All right. I'll just continue to listen to the book.
But but it's interesting. It's interesting that your radiance, gene key 54, it shows up originally as greed.
Greed.
And aspiration. So that's the lower frequencies of that. But the higher frequency is ascension, which means above it all. It's all about potential. It's all about it's
the serpent path as well.
Yeah.
What's the serpent?
The gift aspiration and the siddhi is ascension, yeah? So the 54th siddhi is a relatively well-documented siddhi compared to many of the other 64. It is one of the siddhis that is actually triggered through the continual pressure of aspiration. This is the siddhi of seekers. Through research into the 64 gene keys and the associated science of hologenetics, it has been found that a disproportionate number of mystics and enlightened sages have the 54th siddhi as their prime gifts. Perhaps the best known of these is Parahanthis
Yogananda, yeah.
One of the great mystics of the 20th century, who had this siddhi in his life's work. The 54th siddhi concerns the notion of ascension, the continual alchemical transformation of matter into spiritual essence. Here is the base energy of ambition is experienced at its highest frequency and becomes the continual pressure to keep ascending up the hierarchy. At these levels, however, we are no longer talking about social or material hierarchy, but the spiritual evolutionary ladder, which consciousness itself ascends on the return to its own source. Woo! One of the common allusions of the 54th siddhi concerns the Hindu concept of Kundalini, the so-called serpent power lying coiled at the base of the spine, the dragon energy. That's my little bit.
Yeah, that's foundation that I was talking about, right? That's in your root chakra. Very strong root chakra.
The goal of most transformative yogic systems is the awakening of this primal energy, which is said to rise up and activate each of the higher centers or chakras as it ascends through the human body. Many people have discovered to their detriment how dangerous premature or forced awakening of Kundalini is to the human nervous system. Some people have indeed suffered severe psychological disorders because of the terrific currents of energy that such sustained yogic practices can unleash. Most yoga systems have accommodated to this danger over the centuries by offering step-by-step guidance to such meditations with a great deal of physical preparation and cleansing early on. With the 54th city, as we have seen at all levels, there is a need for deep grounding within the material realm.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is so interesting about this city is not its manifestations, which have been very well documented, but the way it has spiritually conditioned so many people.
Yes. Yes.
There exists enormous confusion in the world concerning spiritual paths, especially now that the West has become such a melting pot for all the great mystical cultures and traditions. There is a particular path for every single person, and any other path than your own, especially at high levels, can cause delusions and can be dangerous. Every single person who has attained a Siddhic state of realization speaks through their specific siddhis. However, if the sage is speaking through a siddha that is not part of your own genetic makeup, you can easily become confused. Anyone
Hey,
who is,
Joe,
yeah,
Ebony is gone, so
yeah,
oh, she's probably going to be back. But anyway, so I don't want to interrupt, but I gotta support the family. So I'm gonna go right now, but
Get
thank
back
you
to
for
work
everything. Yeah, exactly, right?
back to play.
on
Yeah,
your paternity leave.
exactly. Back on my imagination. Yeah.
Have you had chance to check out the app? Yeah, have you seen what I put in
A
there?
little bit, yeah. But I
put
feel
all
like
of
I want to order the earphones and then like the bone transducer or something
No,
like
I'm
that.
on about the actual the Passion app. Do you know?
Oh yeah. No, it's working
I've
fine.
added
Yeah,
all of
absolutely.
I've added all of level 1 now. All of that's in
Yeah,
there now. So
no,
go check that
I
out.
appreciate that. Yeah, it's
My pleasure.
fantastic. Yesterday, so it was really good, and I get to it, so it's fantastic.
Well, big love to Kai and family.
Yeah, you too, guys. Love you all.
Peace.
Okay,
Bye, Pes.
bye.
Hey, loving you right now, Pascal. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.
Sorry about that. My phone died.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just like right in the good bit. I was like,
I
that's.
better check mine too.
I'll have a look.
I can carry on if you want. Yeah, there's literally only about half a page left.
Yeah, no, I feel bad because it doesn't. I don't. That's all right. We don't need to.
No, we love it because guess what? All of the keys relate to us in ways. You know, it's just it's just more stronger for you, maybe. But what was it? 54.
54. Yeah.
My mum was 11 and 12.
So what's with the cities? What do you mean about the cities?
So this is like the band of frequency that we're in, yeah. So let me give you the definition for the word Siddha. So Siddha, the frequency band relating to full embodiment and spiritual realization. The very concept of frequencies and levels paradoxically dissolves when the truth is realized as a Siddha. The word Siddha is from the Sanskrit meaning divine gift. The Siddhic state only comes about when all vestiges of the shadow particularly at the collective level, have been transformed into light. As you enter the state of absorption, this alchemical transformation begins to accelerate until finally all fall silent and you enter the state of embodiment at the sixth initiation. There are 64 cities, and each one refers to a different expression of divine realization. Even though the realization is the same in each case, its expression will differ and can even appear contradictory. The cities spoken of in the Gene Keys synthesis are not to be confused with the way they are understood in certain other mystical traditions. The 64 cities are not obstacles on the path to realization, but are the very expression and fruitful of realization. Yeah. So that's so then yes, so then we start in the shadow, and then that's like a real dense energy, and then it moves to the gift, and then to the siddha. Yeah. So I'm reading your siddha.
Okay.
On the 54th, yeah. I could read the shadow, and that could relate to earlier on. Yeah, so 54th shadow is greed, yeah, for love.
Okay.
And the 54th shadow is one of the great pressures that drive humanity. It is the drive to want more, and at its shadow frequency, this gene key becomes blind greed. It's important to remember at this point that none of these shadow frequencies are really negative. There is nothing wrong or bad with greed. It is simply an aspect of human nature, and as such, it has an evolutionary purpose. The purpose of greed is to pressure human tribal groupings and individuals to be materially successful. If you look at any modern first world country, you can see how far greed has advanced our civilization. The primal energy behind the 54th shadow was essential for human survival of early human tribal cultures. And indeed, we can still see it operating in the developing world, where survival is often based directly upon where you are within the material hierarchy. Obviously, you can also see how greed has a tendency to focus on a single individual, community, or race to the detriment of all others. This means that at a certain evolutionary point, greed will have served its purpose and will need to be transcended. This is precisely what happens at the gift level of frequency when greed becomes aspiration. Greed is the sense refers to the desire to accumulate more material, whereas aspiration refers to the desire to attain something of more of a spiritual nature. If greed is pursued to its furthest limits without transcendence, it becomes self-destruction. We see this happening in the modern world today. When greed reaches its zenith, it either becomes destructive, both to the individual and to the planet, or it gives individuals a new perspective. When people have acquired genuine wealth and stability, they often turn to more spiritual arenas for sustenance. This is how these two genetic programming partners, the 54th gene key and the 53rd gene key, operate together. If a society doesn't mature, it becomes top heavy, like the huge multinational business organizations we see in the world today. When organizations balloon like this, they inevitably take on a life of their own, draining resources from the planet. Natural law demonstrates that an organization dedicated simply to material accumulation will eventually crumble under its own weight, but unfortunately not before it has caused enormous destruction. Running in tandem with the 54th shadow, the 53rd shadow of immaturity ensures that any organization, group, or individuals will remain stuck at a self-serving frequency. The 53rd shadow blocks energy from making a quantum leap from an old cycle into a new cycle at a higher level of frequency. It is called immaturity because it simply never learns. Both these shadows are deeply involved with money and the creation of wealth. The 54th shadow has the added genetic imperative of operating through a hierarchical pattern, which means that it associates wealth with being at the top of the hierarchy. As such, the 54th shadow courts recognition from those higher up in the hierarchy. In today's society, this becomes the need for external symbols of status, a shiny new car or a huge house or the latest of anything and everything. One of the hallmarks of this shadow is that it isn't just about being successful, it's about looking successful. So the essence of the 54th shadow success of material accumulation lies in the ability to create relationships that further its own material resources. In the modern world, this is about business. In business, success often arrives through the development of fruitful relationships. These can be with your business itself, with other agencies such as the media, or with clients. This is like word of mouth still remains one of the most powerful tools for ensuring the successful transformation of a business, and a great problem generated by the 54th shadow concerns the frequency of its transmission. Greed or desperation is an energy field that can be sensed by others, and as such, it endangers distrust and closes down opportunities that might otherwise have been fruitful. There is a fine line. Anyway, I'll move on, yeah. So the repressive nature is unambitious. So the repressive side of this shadow is quite simply about the repression of ambition. These people may begin things with ambition and ad hoc, but then often become disillusioned and give up. Sounds a bit like me. The wonderful drive.
Sorry, it is all relative to a part of my life that was released like
Yeah,
seven
your
years
shadow.
ago.
So this is a
Yeah.
shadow, yeah.
And
then
so
the
that
gift,
kicked off the whole spiritual journey again, that's led me to this point. So this is very relative, where like literally I gave house and every single belonging away and started afresh. That like even just like like my husband and everything. So everything just got wiped clean because of all the stuff that had been accumulated and the BMW and the big house and all that. So everything went.
Wow.
Exactly. And that's the gift. That's when you move to the gift. So the ancient Chinese name, the 64, we know as Jinkies, they did so through the medium of cultural milling. In the case of the 54th Jinki, they named it the marrying maiden. The precise wording of the I Ching concerning this hexagram refers to a concubine marrying a man who already has another wife. Ooh.
Yes,
There
a
is
concubine is what that is.
concubine. But then that's it, ascension, yeah. So just to finish off that ascension where we was, which is like the gift of it all and the whatever.
Yeah,
so what's
I don't want to be concubine. What?
Are you a concubine?
No, I'm not. I don't want to be concubine.
It sounds pretty cute.
Let's transcend.
We transcending beyond concubine. So
I think Ebony knows what that word means. Joe.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god, but look, 55th gene key, yeah, the one afterwards is called The Dragonfly's Dream. Oh my god.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So that's shadow victimization to gift to freedom, your word, but the city is also freedom. So that's weird because your word was freedom.
It was. There you go.
But I've never seen the gift and the city be the same thing.
That's what's freaky when you start getting into this stuff, because you realize that all these themes have been prevalent in your life, and you go like, oh my goodness, there's actually a science now that actually kind of gives you a framework to explore in.
It's cool. I really like this.
You're gonna love the book, and so that's it. But the last paragraph of your 54th gene key, yeah, is ascension is an incredibly physical sequence of events. It has nothing whatsoever to do with modern systems involving visualization or cerebral meditations. It usually follows many years of seeking by someone whose very path is to seek and aspire to higher planes. So many people have been conditioned to seek higher consciousness through these kinds of routes, but they truly do not belong there. Neither does the seeking itself activate the ascension process, since it
Yes.
is the manifestation of a totally mysterious and intensely felt urge to know more. For those who do not
So
belong
isn't
on this path, it is a truly dangerous one. For those who do, it is an effortless and spontaneous. Woo!
happens naturally. This is the thing. And so it's funny that you should say that, because this is what I always tell my clients, like with the work that I do, it assists them in stopping seeking. So it actually brings them into alignment more with their true nature, so they don't spend years and years seeking. They know the truth of themselves. So that what you're saying then was relative as well to me anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Craig.
My
You're
pleasure.
very, very
That's
welcome.
it. We tag teaming, Craig. We tag teaming. I got
Yeah,
the
no
book.
kidding.
Craig's got the downloads. But this is it. We love this, man. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it's making us aware of like deep parts that we've not even, and like it's like we connecting deeper to our power. And that's it. But like, yeah, the way Craig does it, obviously he'll look at it further, and I'm sure he'll be happy like going over just like one-on-one or whatever.
Yeah, I just checked your human design chart too, and it's really amazing. Like, you actually have there's a channel that's created with your gene key 54 and gene key 32 that creates a channel, and that the reason 59 stuck out to me too is that there's a full channel created with 59 in your chart as well. In fact, 59 shows up in two places in your chart. It's actually Jupiter and also a moon. So I'm sure I felt that moon energy when I saw the 59. So it's interesting.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I mean, it ties all of these ancient, all of these ancient technologies are all tied together in this new science. So it's quite amazing, and it's profound at every turn.
And that's it. Literally, all your clients, just like with the beach, you can just literally send them to go create the free profile. And then obviously you're going to be thinking, well, I don't know what to say about this.
Low battery.
That's all right.
It's what resonates with them, isn't it? It's what resonates with them. It's not our job to break it down for them. Like, I mean, we can share and talk and discuss and stuff, and whatever comes up, comes up. But the right people, they're just going to resonate with it, and then go get the book and get on that. Yeah.
That's what I was saying on that.
Like Jesse said, there's nothing to really lose, and everything to get. Self-awareness again.
Yeah, it's another level of it, isn't it? This is it creates.
Yeah.
Stay curious. That's exciting. Thank you.
So here's one thing that I want to leave you with, because this has turned out to be kind of, for me, more important than anything else with respect to all this stuff, is finding out what your inner authority is.
Is that like my core resonance?
Yeah, your core resonance, and it's where you make true choices from.
Where's that? Which one's that one?
So for you, how you decide what's correct for you. And for you, Ebony, it's emotional.
Yeah, I
It's in
know.
your it's in your solar plexus. Your solar
Yeah.
plexus tells you yes or no.
Yeah, I've got to work through the emotion of things. This is how I get
Yep.
all answers.
Yep. Yep.
And that's why I need to not overthink things. If I put too much information in my head, then it clouds my ability to feel what is right.
Correct. Yeah.
So then I
Yeah.
start
Your
questioning.
head can overshadow your
Yeah.
gut. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I start
Yeah.
creating self-doubt.
Yeah.
And instead of coming back in alignment, I think I was saying to you last night that it's so important for me to stay in alignment with my heart, because then I won't question. I will just know. But then,
Yes.
so if I, yep. So that makes sense. So thank you.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that is whenever you're feeling something extreme, that's not a good time to be making a decision.
No, I don't know. I know that. That's why I've got to just.
You gotta wait till it kind of feels neutral, and then you can decide something. Yeah.
And you respond instead of react. That's something that
exactly. Perfect. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, which then, yeah. Anyway, thank you. That resonates.
So I hope you were listening, Joe, because I think you're emotional authority too.
I'm listening. I'm
I'm just looking up your. I'm just looking up your chart again.
I think that's the whole sovereignty is driven by that owning of emotion. Like, no one can tell me how I feel. Like, no one can tell me how I feel, like only I know how I feel. And that's what governs that sovereignty. Does that make sense? So the passion behind being sovereign comes from, knowing your own emotion and not being told how to feel. Like, it's like, yeah.
See, my inner authority is centered somewhere else.
Is what?
Is centered somewhere else.
What do you mean?
In my body. Like it's not emotional.
What is it?
My authority is it's splenic and partly will centered. So it's different. I feel impulses, and it's like my whole body tells me the truth. So it's not really centered a location in my body. It's kind of all over. I feel it all over. Yeah. But there's people that have a mental authority where it actually comes into their head, or more specifically their pineal gland.
So bizarre.
Yeah, so that's a side benefit of this.
It's a different concept, new thoughts. wonder if I can download the book or the transcripts or something so I can do some nighttime reading.
Well, you know what? Ask Joe where he found the audiobook.
Yeah, I've got the audio book. I downloaded
Oh,
that,
do
but
you?
I think it's the type of thing where you kind of like, I mean, I can listen to it, but I like to feel the pages and be able to highlight things
Yeah.
with my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I recommend the print copy of the book.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them books you can just simply open it up. Do you know what I mean? Have your intention, have your question, open it up, and boom, one of them.
Yeah, they're cool, aren't they? So you always like resonate. Just
So I'd to honor all you beautiful people. I love you, all right?
back at you.
Thanks, Joe. You too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah. And thank you again, Ebony, for that trip with dragons. That was awesome. It's always awesome.
Thank you guys.
We'll do that some more. And I
More
know it's in the
magical.
middle of the night for you now, isn't it?
Yes, I am.
So I appreciate you being here and sticking it out with us.
It's fine. I've got the third win. I'm just about to go do some study.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse, for the space, and thank you, Craig and Joe, for the info you've just shared now, and yeah, everyone's input. I really, really enjoyed my night. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I'm really excited about that little seed you planted. You know, like I've never thought about an offer of like, you know, getting into the core of the government and bringing self-love and infinite consciousness into that realm. So like, yeah, I feel like that's going to be something massive. But yeah, it's all just beautiful and amazing. And thank you. Thanks for going over time, Jess, with us. And yeah, I love you all right? And I'll speak to you soon.
Check out.
Okay, big love,
Night, night.
everybody.
Peace and blessings. Speak soon.